Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
Stakeholders in the Niger Delta peace process have called on the federal government to revisit the presidential amnesty program that was designed to foster security and development in the region. The call is coming on the heels of a recent threat by the Supreme Egbesu Liberation Fighters to resume hostilities in the region, following the federal government's refusal to implement the presidential amnesty program to the letter, which was part of a 16-point demand made by leaders and elders of the Niger Delta region in their November 2016 meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. Correspondent Ekena Amiofori tells us more.
The Supreme Egbesu Liberation Fighters, a militant group operating in the Niger Delta, recently threatened to resume hostilities over a number of vexing issues relating to underdevelopment of their region. One of the issues given the group cause for worry is the levity with which the federal government has implemented the presidential amnesty program.
Look at the outcome of the amnesty program for the agitators from the Niger Delta region. After accepting the amnesty pact and believing that the region will experience rapid development and transformation, till date, no school, no potable water, no lights, no hospital, and access roads for our people to enjoy.
In June 2009, late President Umaru Yar'Adua gave an unconditional pardon to armed militants bent on crippling Nigeria's economy through sustained attacks on oil and gas infrastructure in the Niger Delta. The presidential amnesty program was conceived to be implemented in 3 phases of disarmament, demobilization and reintegration of repentant militants into normal society. Under the peace deal, the federal government has the obligation to provide about 30,000 ex-militants who enlisted in the program requisite skills to earn a living, address infrastructure deficits and ecological problems faced by oil-producing communities in the region. As a result of the government's failure to implement the amnesty program to the letter, there was a new outburst of violence in the Niger Delta, prompting the region's leaders under the aegis of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum (PANDEF) to meet with President Buhari in November 2016. At the meeting, Mr. President had reassured Niger Deltans of his commitment to restore lasting peace, security and development in the region. 4 years after, not a few Niger Deltans have expressed concern over mounting insecurity in the region, which they blame on poor implementation of the presidential amnesty program.
I would consider the presidential amnesty program a failure. The federal government of Nigeria only targeted the ex-agitators because they felt that if they target them and reduce the violent conflict, they could go ahead and continue to produce oil seamlessly.
It's not just by giving people amnesty. Have you addressed the issue that gave rise to insecurity in the Niger Delta? If you have not done that, you continue giving an amnesty, and youth will say, okay, if we carry out arms, if we cause problem in the state, we'll be giving amnesty. So I don't think amnesty have achieved what it set out to achieve.
The presidential amnesty program was conceived through recommendations of the Ledumite report of 2008 and was to last a period of 5 years from 2010 to 2015. Owing to lack of proper exit strategy, terminal dates for the program has been extended several times.
Unfortunately, they picked only aspects of that recommendation and ran with it to just show that we have made some success. But in terms of what the whole DDR component was, it has not been implemented in terms with what we made the recommendations.
This is supposed to be a short-term program. But if you continue to expand, extend, elongate it, because it has become a patronage agency.
The lackluster implementation of the presidential amnesty program is attributable to endemic corruption in the system. In October last year, National Security Advisor to President Buhari, Babagana Mungono, revealed that over 712 billion naira released to fund the program since its inception in 2009 could not be accounted for. It will be recalled that immediate past coordinator of the program, Professor Charles Dokubo, and his predecessor in office, retired Major General Paul Boru, were fired on allegations of corruption. The current coordinator of the program, retired Colonel Milan Dikio, is said to be in place to clean the mess in the system. However, sources close to the Presidential Amnesty Program are not convinced that radical reforms will happen in the system anytime soon. They want the federal government to revisit the program, which has failed to achieve its aims and objectives in the Niger Delta.
If we can go back to the drawing board, where we could draw a new objectives that targets the youth directly, and then begin to work according to the objectives, I think the program will begin to record another set of successes.
The call on the federal government to reconsider the Presidential Amnesty Program is to avert a likely resurgence of violence in the Niger Delta, which would worsen the current parlous state of security across the country. It is also with a view to protecting the nation's economic assets domiciled in the region from further attacks by disgruntled elements.
Inside the Niger Delta,